Our next storyteller. A 7-year-old's world is turned upside down when the lights go out at a family gathering. Please welcome our own Will Spargur with his story, Collision Course.
When I was 7 years old, my mom took me and my little brother Carl, he was about 2 years younger than me, so he's about 5 years old, to a family get-together at my aunt and uncle's place in downtown St. Louis. They lived in the Italian part of downtown St. Louis called The Hill, and my brother and I really enjoyed going over to their place because when my aunt and uncle got married, being good Catholics, they started having kids right away, started having lots of kids. And by the time they were done, they had 8 kids. And some of those kids were a little bit older, so they had started having kids of their own. So whenever we went there, it was like Disneyland. There were kids running everywhere, so we loved it. We had just finished dinner, and a bunch of my cousins ran upstairs to play. And I decided to stay downstairs to listen to my uncle's war stories. Literally war stories because he served in World War II. Suddenly, there was this loud yell, like, "Ah!" echoing from upstairs, and it was followed by screams, like kids screaming, and everybody just stops what they're doing and just kind of looks upstairs, and the ceiling's starting to vibrate because kids are running in random directions. There's a full-on stampede going upstairs. I jump up, sprint up the stairs. It's pitch black. All the lights have been turned off. I turn around a corner and go straight down the hallway in the direction of the screams when, bam! All of a sudden, I saw this flash of light. I'm knocked back a few feet like I've been hit by a freight train light, and I land like splayed out on my back. And I'm seeing stars. What the heck just happened? So I sit up, and on the floor in front of me is my cousin Renee. She's holding her head because we had literally butted heads together when we ran into each other at full speed, and she's laughing hysterically. Now I'm looking at her through these stars, and I'm 7 years old, so I've never really thought much of girls up to this point, but through those stars, she looked like an angel. She had this wavy brown hair and blue eyes. I was in love with my cousin Renee. That night, on the drive home, all I could think about was Renee. But I vowed to myself, I'm going to marry my cousin, Renee. A few weeks later, my mom says, "We're going to visit Renee's family." I'm like, yes. So I put on the best outfit that I own. It's these navy blue slacks, this white dress button-up shirt, and a white captain's hat, like sailor captain. Because, it has that shiny brown rim, shiny black rim with the golden lifesaver embroidered on the front. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm thinking, no woman can resist a man in uniform. So we drive to Renee's just outside of St. Louis. When we get there, her mom comes out, and I'm looking at her, "Where's Renee? She's not here." And her mom goes, "Oh, Renee went over to a neighbor's place. Unfortunately, I don't know when she'll come back." And I think that her mom could see my disappointment, so she offers, I'll call the neighbors, have them send someone over, and they can lead you and your little brother over to the neighbor's house so you can play with Renee. So they come over and lead us over. And we get to the neighbor's house, and we walk around back, and they have one of these above-ground round swimming pools, and Renee's playing in there with a bunch of the neighbor kids. And I come around back, and I start, going like this, shoulders back, head up, trying to look really tall. I'm looking really sharp, just waiting for her to look at me. She turns, and she goes, "Why are you dressed like that?" All of a sudden, I become super self-conscious. The uniform didn't quite have the impact that I thought it would. So I just feel like I want to crawl under a rock and hide. But fortunately, the neighbor offers me and my brother Carl swimsuits if we want to play in the pool. We grab those swimsuits. 10 minutes later, we're jumping in the water playing. And we play all day. Me, my little brother, Renee, the neighborhood kids. And finally, it gets late. So we have to go home for dinner. So Renee, me, and my little brother, Carl, are walking home, and the whole time I'm thinking, I haven't had an opportunity to get Renee alone, because all day we've been with people, so I'm trying to figure out how am I going to lose my little brother. If you have little brothers, you pretty much do that all the time. So we're walking, and we get to Renee's house, and I go, Renee, I suggest, let's go around back, just play a little bit more before going inside. Carl, go inside, and Carl heads inside. My heart is beating really quick now. I'm alone with Renee. And I take a deep breath, and I turn to Renee, and I go, Renee, I dare you to kiss me on the cheek. She leans over and gives me a peck on the cheek. I'm like, I can't believe this. She actually fell for it. And I'm like, how far can I take this dare thing? So I go, Renee, I dare you to kiss me on the lips. And she leaned over and gave me a quick kiss on the lips. She pulled back smiling. I felt like I was gonna die. So I promised Renee that I would never wash my face again. And then I got ready to pop the question. Suddenly, Renee! Her dad's voice, angry voice, came echoing from inside. Now, I'm kind of confused because we're out alone. Nobody can see us in the backyard, but somehow or other we're in trouble. So we go inside, and all the adults are lined up in the living room, and we get there. It's like a tribunal. We come in, me and Renee, and her dad starts interrogating her, like, Renee, where have you been? What have you been doing? And Renee's saying, we were just out back. We were playing. We weren't doing anything. But he's not mollified, so he says, Renee, you're grounded. Go to your room. So Renee goes off to her room, head bowed. You can see her starting to tear up. And I'm feeling really bad because I kind of know that somehow or other I'm responsible for this, but I still don't understand how nobody saw us. That night, when we're driving home, I'm just like sinking in my seat. I'm depressed and confused because what happened? So I asked my mom, Mom, why was Renee's dad so angry at us? And she goes, well, we were all sitting in the living room when your brother comes running in all excited, yelling, they did it! They did it! They finally did it! And Renee's dad goes, did what? They kissed! They finally kissed! So the cat was out of the bag now. No longer any reason to keep this secret. Renee, Mom, I want to marry Renee. Chris, by the way, my real name's Chris. I changed it later on, but she goes, Chris, you can't marry Renee. Why can't I marry Renee? You can't marry your cousin. So I just kind of sink back into my seat, all defeated. I look out the window at the cold, cruel world speeding by. That was my first kiss. And I learned 3 things from that kiss. The first thing is dares can take you very far. Second is you cannot marry your cousin. And the third thing is leave no witnesses, especially little brothers.